The courtroom air was sharp, stiff with judgment. A bailiff's voice rang out cold, clipped, and public. "Ma'am, remove your jacket before approaching that bench." Whispers stirred as all eyes turned to the woman at the center of the room. A woman in her early 40s wearing a plain black jacket zipped to the neck, her posture straight despite the stares. She didn't argue. She didn't blink. She simply unzipped the jacket and slipped it off. And then it happened. A simple tattoo no larger than a silver dollar etched on her left forearm, now visible. The judge's eyes locked on it. His lips parted slightly, his gavel hung frozen in air. He stared and didn't speak back as he recognized it and what it stood for. The woman's name was Elise Carter. Most in the courtroom only knew her as the defendant in a quiet property dispute. A foster mom accused of unlawfully sheltering a troubled teen, but Elise had lived many lives before this one. Years earlier, in a place far from this wood-paneled courtroom, Alyssa stood in desert heat, boots burning against sand, cradling a child in a village no one dared name. She'd served 2 tours as a combat medic in Afghanistan, twice decorated, twice wounded. She bore scars no one could see, and one she had chosen to show, inked into her skin just days after holding her best friend as he bled out in her arms. That tattoo, a pair of rings curled around a combat cross, wasn't just ink. It was a promise. I will never leave a soul behind. No matter the law, no matter the cost. After coming home, Elise didn't return to comfort. She built a home from nothing. A modest 1-story house outside town filled with rescued dogs, photos of forgotten soldiers, an irritating door of foster kids no one else will take. One of them, 17-year-old Marcus, had arrived with bruises that told a story he couldn't. He'd run from a system that lost track of him. Elise didn't ask where he came from. She asked if he wanted to eat. When officials snapped, Elise didn't hide. She stood at the door silent. When charges came harboring a runaway, she didn't beg or plead. She just nodded, quietly gathered her jacket, and appeared in court assorted. And now here she stood, sleeve rolled, tattoo exposed, a silent signal that reached deeper than words. The judge, a stern man known for zero tolerance, sat frozen. The courtroom was still, except for the growing realization rippling through the crowd that Mark, it wasn't just familiar. It was the same. On his first deployment, the judge had watched a medic run through gunfire to save his commander. She wore the same mark, the same wings, the same cross, and she looked a lot like the woman now standing in his courtroom. He cleared his throat, voice shaking slightly. "This court has reviewed the case," he said, scanning the room but never meeting Elise's. The defendant acted against policy, but not against conscience. Haphazard, his voice quiet now. Some people follow orders. Others follow something greater. Silence. Then Hel looked at her fully, respectfully. "All charges are dismissed. You're free to go." A gasp rose in the courtroom, followed by silence. Not the awkward kind, but the kind that honors something unspoken. Even the babe who had told her to remove her jacket now looked away, ashamed. One by one, people stood not in protest, but in quiet respect. Veterans in the back straightened their shoulders. A woman placed her hand over her heart. Elise didn't smile. She just nodded once, picked up her jacket, and walked out as she had walked in, steady, silent, unshaken. Outside, Marcus waited in the courthouse steps, tears and high sighs. She placed a hand on his shoulder. "No one left behind," she said. 3 simple words, a vow, a truth. And as they walked into the sunlight, the wind lifted her sleeve once more, revealing the tattoo that had once saved lives and now had saved a life in peace. She didn't fight to be seen. She stood so others wouldn't fall. Sometimes the loudest courage is the one that doesn't speak at all. You don't need permission to do what's right, just the strength to bear the cost. If this story moved you, tell us where you're watching from. Share. This was someone who believes insolent heroes, and subscribe for more stories that honor those who fight in seen battles.